All right, so today is going to be for entertainment purposes only. This is not for legal advice in any way. Is that the appropriate introduction or?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Thomas Wells. I call him T. Wells. You go by Tom though?
Tom in the general and in the courts, Thomas.
Thomas? In courts, you got to be official.
Yep. You don't have to be, but always have been.
It helps you win.
Always.
Okay, I like that. So Tom is a criminal defense attorney here in Las Vegas. Is that the right title or?
There's absolutely correct title.
Okay.
Criminal defense.
That's a sexy title. My mom always said you should have been a lawyer or a doctor, and she's disappointed in me, but I remind her I am paying your mortgage, but she still says you should have been an attorney. I don't know, but
No. You've done very well for yourself, and I think you made the right choice.
well, she doesn't know that, but she keeps complaining. But anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about you. So have you always lived in Vegas?
No, I moved to Vegas in 2012 from born and raised in Colorado.
Okay. Gets cold there?
It does get cold, and that's one of the reasons we left. My wife is tired of the snow. She likes to look at it, but was tired of driving and shoveling, and she said we had to move someplace warm. I said, you want humidity or dry heat? She said dry heat. So I said, Vegas it is.
So from Colorado to Vegas?
Yep.
What is it like living in snow? I've never had to encounter that.
For the most part, it's great.
Because you actually have seasons?
You have 4 seasons in
Okay.
Colorado, but you could have all 4 seasons in one day is the only problem.
Really?
Yes. The snow, for the most part, is beautiful. It's great to look at, fun to play in. But it can ruin your streets and make traffic a nightmare who don't know how to drive in snow.
Can you park in the streets or you have to park in the garage?
You can park in the street, but you better be able to start your car early to warm it up, and you got to have some ice scrapers, and because you're scraping your windows, and
Yeah, I'm cool in the desert. So what was it like growing up in Colorado?
it was great. Grew up in Colorado Springs. Back then, it was a fairly small town, like 250,000 people. Very homey. It was great. Loved it.
And as a kid, were you like, I want to be a lawyer when I grow up?
No, actually despised it. Didn't want to. My father was an attorney. My sister became an attorney. I was never going to do it. I wanted to finance and hated it.
Really?
Needed a change, and sure enough,
Came back around.
came back around. And I
Kept it in the family. Okay, I like that. So you went to high school in Colorado?
went to high school in Colorado, graduated, came out to Vegas for 1 year at UNLV,
Okay.
transferred back to Northern Colorado, finished my college degree there, but came back to UNLV to get my law degree.
Okay. So you went back to Colorado, came back. All right. I like that. Did you play any sports in high school or in college?
I did. I was a golfer, played golf in high school, college.
So you thought you were going to be a professional golfer?
That's always the dream, right? I tried it for about a year and a half, played on some
How'd you do?
tour stuff, and I did okay. It was fun. Traveling different state, different city every week.
So you actually were on the golf team in college?
Yeah.
Nice. That's impressive. In Colorado or UNLV?
Both. However, I didn't play at UNLV. I had some injuries that prevented me, so I transferred, and I was a full-time starter in Colorado.
Did you play golf in high school?
I did.
Okay. Any other sports?
Hockey.
Nice. Were you good at it?
I don't know. I was okay.
Good. I was hoping you weren't going to say you were good because that was going to annoy me. Be good at golf, hockey, an attorney. That's impressive.
Trying to be like my bestie over here.
So when you left Colorado, you came to Vegas. You finally graduated from UNLV. That's where you got your law degree.
I agree.
Okay.
Boyd School of Law.
Nice. So what was that switch where you're like, okay, I'm going to do this law thing?
So I was working out here in Vegas as a financial crime investigator.
Okay.
And it put me in court a lot. And I'm watching these attorneys do their thing, and I'm like, most of them are terrible, and I know I could do a better job.
Are you allowed to say that? Or
Absolutely.
we don't have to?
There's a lot of bad attorneys out there. Be very careful about your attorney. But I knew I could do better. I was like, I'm going to law school, make more money. and do a far better job in the courtroom. These people that I'm watching all the time.
You know, that drives me crazy about my industry. People ask me, like, you know, why you start a team and it's difficult, this, that. But finally, I just was kind of disgusted with how things were going. So I wanted to create this bubble around me of how I believe real estate should be.
Right.
So it kind of sounds like you had that same experience.
I did, absolutely. Especially now, having my own firm, it's designed to do what's right with both the community, the people, and have the right team is all that matters.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's impressive. So what, speaking of criminal law, like tell me, let's go back actually to investigating financial crimes. What is that? That sounds like,
So, having a finance background with the banking, it's back when there was a lot of mortgage fraud going along around out here in Vegas, and they were trying to prosecute a lot. And I was actually hired by the Clark County on the defense side to help defend some of these people, but they had no idea how to.
this was before you were a lawyer?
Yeah, they had no idea how to defend a mortgage crime, and so they went out and brought me in so I could show them how to defend it and what was right, what was wrong about these mortgages, and how they were using straw buyers or not straw buyers, or
What's a straw buyer?
basically a real buyer is using other people's names and stuff on the paperwork to buy the property and manipulate the way everything is. And so if something goes bad, their name's not attached to anything.
Are they doing it with intentions for something to go bad, or?
No, their intentions is to make a lot of money real quick and unload it. But when the downturn in 2008 happened, a lot of things didn't happen as well as it was happening 10 years before, when they were making a ton of money. And then now,
Is that the only mortgage fraud, or is there other things?
no, there was other things. There was, just people lying about where they work or if they even worked, and just creating bad mortgages in general. You had mortgage companies that were, giving loans to fake people, just putting names on the paperwork, and just to get the paperwork to go through and just to buy these properties.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in my 20-some years of doing this, but maybe I'm glad I haven't.
Yeah. It was a nightmare for a little while to deal with it. And, but that's what got me into the courtroom, and it got me to see things. And if it wasn't for that, I would not be sitting here today.
So describe that experience, kind of being in that courtroom. Was that your first time in a courtroom, or?
Yeah. I mean, I'd been in a little bit with my father growing up, but it wasn't.
I was going to ask you that.
I didn't really care back then. I was a kid, and it just didn't matter. Didn't know really what I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So here I'm going in as the investigator with my attorney,
Mm-hmm.
and watching these other attorneys work, and a few times, I'd take the stand and have to be questioned. Like, I couldn't believe how difficult it was to ask questions by some of these people. Like, you do this for a living. Why is this not an easier thing for you? And I'm just watching these people make arguments, and it was just, I knew I could do better. And so I was like, after about a year, I was like, I'm done. I'm going to law school. And
That's what got you to start going to law school?
yeah,
Wow. So just being in that court got you excited about it,
absolutely.
even though you saw it kind of your whole life. But with your family members, they didn't do criminal, right?
No, they all did. My father was more of an employment law. My sister did medical malpractice law.
Okay.
And
So why criminal?
it just seemed a lot more entertaining.
It does. I'm not
Right. You see the shows on TV,
Yeah.
and to get some of these police reports and you read them, you're like, man, I couldn't make this up in my wildest dreams sometimes. Like,
Really?
the stories that you see, and then you see one side on the police report, and then when you sit down and talk to these clients and actually find out the truth about what happened and what didn't happen, like, how does that even process in your mind, or
Mm-hmm.
how do these events just come together for this big explosion of something bad happening that you're just like, I could never make it up. Like, you could write so many books on these guys and these stories. And
Are you going to write a book one day, or is
absolutely
that
not. Absolutely not. I have
client attorney privilege.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, we could divvy it up, but I don't know if I'm not a writer. I would have to hire somebody else.
That's wild.
Definitely have the stories.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you think there's more stories because we're in Vegas? Do you think that has anything to do with it, or is this pretty much standard for big cities, you think? Or
I think it's probably standard for large metropolitan cities. We get maybe some of the different crazy ones because we also have the tourists that come into town. You know, so we have a different side of it. Not all the big cities have the crimes that might happen in a casino or the hotels, but I think any big city has just a lot of crime, and whether it's petty crime or major crime, it doesn't matter. It's all the same, and we got to deal with it one way or the other. I think it's just a big city thing.
so what was when you finally went to law school and graduated, what was your first job in law at a law school?
I went and worked for the public defender's office
Nice.
in Clark County, and I did that a lot. Not because I necessarily wanted to be a public defender, but it's a great training mechanism to learn criminal defense. You get everything right away. They have the best training, show you how to do things, how the cases work. And I just kind of use that as a stepping stone to go out on private and on my own.
Yeah, it seems like an incredible resume builder, but also like I always call it getting reps, right? Like in our business, where almost like if you're looking at a professional team, almost like in baseball, the minor leagues, just getting all those reps, and I'm sure that they keep you busy there, no?
Oh, extremely busy. You have a lot of cases. That part of the problem with them is they have too many cases, right? But at the same time, they learn a lot. They do know what they're doing for the most part, and they really do learn a lot. Where if I had just gone private, I mean, yeah, I could have worked under someone who's done it, but
Right.
you don't have that pure volume of cases, and you don't learn as much. You might see a couple cases here or there. And I really wanted to be experienced to everything.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm hiring an attorney and I did something, that I would need a criminal defense attorney, I would want somebody who has a ton of experience. So how can you get that experience? That would be important to me and probably everybody else, right? Who would need a criminal attorney.
Right. I look at it as I was talking to another attorney the other day. He went straight private, always been private. He was trying to brag that in 5 years, he's done about 200 criminal cases.
Sounds like a lot.
And I said, well, yeah, but in that same time, I did over 3,000 cases.
Oh my goodness.
So
Flexing on them.
well, it was just a different environment.
Wow, 3,000?
So now when I now that I have my own firm and I can say, look, I've done over 3,000. There's not a case that haven't
Incredible.
where some of these private guys, they just don't see them. There's some that see everything because they've been around for so long, but some of these other new guys that didn't get the experience either from the district attorney's office or the public defender's office and just went straight private, they're missing out on a lot of valuable lessons.
That's super important. I mean, my agents on my team come to me with questions and putting out fires every day, and just to be able to just spit out those answers because I've been through it and I lived it. So I think you talking about those amount of cases like carry so much weight. Wow. I'd like to ask you how many of those you won, but I don't think that's an appropriate question. So we'll move on. What was it like? I'm sure it was a lot, but what was it like the first time you were actually in a courtroom?
It was weird. I'm not gonna lie. It was, a little nerve-wracking your first time. You're like,
Is there etiquette you have to learn?
to a point, like you watch, like there's certain things you say in a certain order for certain things, but just how to make a good argument that the judge is going to believe, understand, is thoughtful. It's one of those things. It's just a learning process, and the more times you do it, the easier it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Walking a courtroom now is, for me,
Normal.
no different than sitting at lunch with you and having a conversation. I can just walk in and go do it. and not have to think twice about it.
Does all those reps, those thousands of reps,
Oh,
help
it's
that?
huge. I mean, that makes it. I wouldn't be able to do today what I do if it.
Wow, that's what a blessing. Um, did I know I have a lot of agents who start off in the business and they get out of real estate school and they're like, we didn't learn any of this. Is that kind of how law school is? Like, is it a lot of learning
Oh,
on the job or?
it's 100% in my opinion. I mean, law school teaches you how to think like an attorney,
Mhm.
not like how the average person thinks about things. And then it teaches you how to be able to look up case law or statutes but until you actually go sit down and do it, it's not the same. I mean, you write a couple motions in law school and they teach you the basics, but your learning is on the job in whatever type of field that you go into for law, whether it's criminal, civil, it doesn't matter. You're going to learn by just doing.
Yeah, that's why those reps are important. How is the courtroom when there's a jury compared to if there's no jury? Is it similar? Is it different or?
Very different.
Yeah.
When there's a jury in, we are far more professional than when there's no jury. When there's no jury, the attorneys are more relaxed, talking to each other, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Very less formal, even the judge. But when we're in trial and there's a jury, everything is, straight and narrow. You're not cracking jokes. You're just focused on what you're doing, going about it.
Never been selected yet.
Me neither. I've tried many times, but I've never been.
Do they still call you for jury duty if you're an attorney? Really?
Absolutely. We never get it. They always kick us, but I would love to be on a jury, even though I'll never get one now. I almost got one in law school.
Really?
I was actually studying for the bar right after I graduated, and I was the final person they asked, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Please select me, and here's why. And the U.S. attorney said, no, you need to go study for the bar, and kicked me out.
So close.
Yeah.
So
I
close.
figured that was my last good ditch effort to make it onto a jury. But yeah, I'm curious to what it would have been like. I mean, I get a little bit of it now when I do trials. Oftentimes we're allowed to go talk to the jury afterward. When the case is over, the verdict's done, the district attorney and us, the private defense counsels can go speak to the jury if the jury wants, and they'll talk to us about their reasonings, like why they decided not guilty or guilty, and what they liked about our presentation, what they didn't. So we use it as a learning experience. So I always thought that would be cool to be actually part of it, watching it from that side, just to see what I would like or didn't like about a trial. I mean, I can go watch a trial, other people do trials, and I've done it many times, and you definitely learn stuff because everyone has their own way. You can learn how to do it from the best, but if it's not you, you're never going to pull it off. You got to do what's you.
So it's open to the public? I can go there and just watch cases?
Yeah, absolutely. Criminal is, for the most part, an open public to the public.
Oh, F and I really love reality TV. So, I mean, that sounds like a good time.
Absolutely.
Is there certain times a day, or is that like public? They have to announce when? Like, can you go on a site and look at it, or is this just?
I mean, you can always go online and look, but just in general, criminal calendars are in the mornings.
How do they keep out everybody from coming when it's like, I don't want to say celebrity or just like a big case,
So what they'll do is, if it's a big case, they will either call it first or last of the calendar so that they can move people in and out, just to have it addressed.
And they can have a closed courtroom or? Okay. What's your day look like if you're, working at the office or compared to having to go to court?
Yeah. So, criminal calendars are typically Monday through Thursday. Unless you're in trial, then it can be Monday through Friday. So you're typically in court from 8 to 11-ish in the morning. And then you do your consults, your motion work, all that in the afternoon.
What does it look like when you're in trial?
In trial?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother animal. So now you still have to do your consults and your client meetings and your motion work. So you're doing a lot of your trial prep work after hours all night and getting ready for trial. Because as a business owner, as you know,
Things don't stop.
Things don't stop.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anyone to cover for you, you gotta make it happen. So you gotta make the time. But it's a lot of after hours and long hours for trial. Trial is a lot of prep to do it correctly. Because you're prepping for every single witness, all the evidence you got to know back and forth. So it's a lot of work, but trials is, and I think most criminal defense attorneys will tell you that trials is really why we go to court and why we do.
Really?
Most attorneys don't ever set foot in court. If you look
Is that because
across the board
before that?
Well, no, if you just look across the board, most attorneys are afraid of a courtroom.
Really?
And they don't want to ever go into a courtroom. So they do a type of law or that doesn't take them to. So I intentionally have a type of law that takes me to the court a lot because I love being in the room. And trials are great.
Do they not go because it's better for them to settle than actually take the risk of going?
That or it's just a law that never can go to court.
Okay.
You know, they become a general counsel for a company, and then if it's something that goes to court, they hire a outside firm to go to court for them, or
somebody has more experience.
Right.
How long can that last?
What?
Like a trial?
A trial, a typical trial for criminal is about a week. It can some take a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks. Now, if you're on the civil side, some civil trials can take a year. They'll go for a couple months, take a month off, come back, go for a couple months, take a month off. Yeah. Civil trials can take a really long time.
But criminal,
criminal is typically a long, would be like 3 weeks. That'd be a long trial. But criminal trials, most of them are about a week long.
I don't want to find out. Stay out of trouble.
That's right.
Yeah. If not, I know who to call, but never need you for that. When it goes on that long, are the jurors allowed to go home, or?
They can go home, and they're warned every day not to talk to anyone about the case, including their spouse or their kids. And
is that serious, or is that just like a?
No, it actually is. I've seen many times where someone went and made a comment on Facebook or something, and the next day we'll have the case thrown out or have that juror thrown out.
So the case can be.
If there's not someone that we can replace them with. But typically that's why when you have a jury, there's always 2 extras.
In case somebody messes up.
In case someone does something, we can toss them and put in one of the other jurors. But yeah, everything a juror does during a trial is usually watched pretty closely to make sure they're not talking to people. And I'm sure it happens. I mean, just don't post it online.
Yeah, I mean, he would think that would make sense not to do. What are some of the misconceptions about, criminal defense or anything along?
I think obviously the biggest one is, well, how can you defend a criminal, right? That's the biggest one. Well, you got to understand in the United States, 1 out of every 3 people is going to be arrested at some point.
How many?
1 out of 3. So in this room, there's 3 of us. By data, 1 of us will be arrested at some point in our lifetime, right or wrong. And of that, typically, I think the last time I looked, it was about 40% are wrongfully.
Really? That high?
Yeah. And I think the last time I saw in prison right now, it's around 28% of the people in prison are actually innocent. So
these numbers are
just because you've been arrested. To me, I believe in the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
You have constitutional rights. And my job is to make sure that those are followed. Whether you're guilty, not guilty, doesn't matter. You still have rights. My job is to make sure those rights are followed through the whole process. And it's not my job to say what judgment you get or don't get. I don't get to decide that. But I'm going to put you in the best position possible and not get run over by a system that doesn't want you to succeed or get by. And that's why I do it.
This is why my mom said I should have been a lawyer. That's impressive. That's awesome. That's got to be a great feeling too, when you can help somebody who's put in that position that is, in the right.
Absolutely. And I think most defense attorneys will tell you that they'd rather get a guilty person a not guilty verdict than send an innocent person to prison. There's nothing worse than we can do than have an actual innocent person go to prison. And that's why, it gets difficult sometimes, and you gotta, play the game, but you gotta know what you're doing and how to do it to make sure that doesn't happen.
So what do you do kind of in your free time to unwind from all that? Because that sounds like a lot of stress, and I can't imagine I'm going 7 days a week with what I do. I couldn't imagine carrying that on top of what I do.
Yeah, definitely hang out with family. It's always number one. We're a big sports family, so we go to as many sport events. Hang out with the kids, wife, and just relax.
What's your favorite sport?
To watch football.
Football?
Or college basketball.
Okay. And your favorite sport to play, was it golf or hockey? Golf? I feel like there's a comeback there.
There's a comeback.
No?
We like to play.
Scratch golfer? That's so unfair. You can't be good at two things. I think that's unfair. I'm good at real estate, and that's it. Like, how do you have two? What else? What else are you good at?
Yeah, two. You're a stand-up.
Nah,
we've seen you with them.
I'm very monotone, so when I deliver, it pops, but okay, maybe. But I'm sure you got three. What else do you like to do besides golf? I've heard you can bowl.
I used to.
Yeah.
We used to bowl a lot.
Did you ever bowl a perfect game?
Twice.
See, that's unfair. You'd be good at golf, bowling, amazing criminal defense attorney. Mom's was right. All right. Are you enjoying living in Vegas compared to Colorado?
Yes. Love Vegas.
What's your favorite part about Vegas?
If you want to do something, you can do it.
Okay.
Colorado, great, but I always felt like, if you wanted a good restaurant, there was maybe two in town that you could go to. Vegas, there's hundreds of good restaurants. Any type of food you want, you can go get it. Any type of you can find a great restaurant in Vegas. We love that.
Give me a top 3 restaurants in Vegas.
Ooh, top 3. Joe's Stone Crab at Caesars.
Okay.
Number 1. By far number 1 to me.
That's number 1? By far?
Number 1.
Okay.
Those stone crabs are my wife and I's favorite.
Top of the top.
Top of the top. China Mama for Chinese food.
Okay. Never been there.
Oh, they got a couple different ones in town, and each one has its own specialty. So they're all the same. They all have a lot of the same food, but then they all have a specialty that they're each known for. They're phenomenal. Third one,
I'm into steak, so give me something.
I'm gonna tell you the steakhouse at Caesars at Circus.
Really?
Yes, it's literally no one knows about it unless you're a local, and it's right in the middle. Has nothing to do with the hotel, and you walk in and it's like old school. You're back in the 50s.
It's inside the hotel?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's old fashioned. It's great. You can see the chefs. Some of the best food ever.
Wow, we got to check that out.
And then from a nostalgic, just to throw it out there, the Goldens, just because you can sit in a booth that the Rat Pack used to. That was their famous place.
Can you get reservations there, or is that a?
Well, you're gonna wait a little while. Last I checked, it was a couple months.
Okay.
But it's really good. They do have the best tableside bananas Foster.
How do you make that tableside?
They bring it up, they flame it up right there in front of you. It's the best.
I've heard of tableside guacamole, but never.
They actually do tableside bananas Foster and tableside Caesar salad.
Making me hungry. So we have a lot of clients moving to Vegas from out of state. Obviously, there's plenty of reasons to move here. Weather, no state income tax. There's now sports like you're mentioning. We have the A's coming, Raiders. Give them a pitch. Why to come to Vegas?
Ooh, come to Vegas. You'll never be bored. And whether that's someone who likes outdoorsy stuff or inside, you have it here. With the Red Rocks, you can get all the hiking you need. Some of the most beautiful scenery here. You can go out to Lake Mead or Lake Las Vegas if you like the water. Take a boat out. And then the nightlife. No one can beat the nightlife in Vegas. If you like concerts or nightclubs, restaurants, Vegas has it. We have everything that anyone could want.
What's the best concert you've been to in Vegas?
Garth Brooks.
Okay. Best sporting event?
Every time the Broncos beat the Raiders.
Okay. You can't say that. We're in Vegas now, but I get it. Okay. And best comedy show you've been to?
Ooh, best comedy show.
Besides me,
Watching you, but I'm gonna
besides me.
Chris Rock.
Oh, okay.
I think that was good.
Yeah.
That was real good.
That's a good answer. So yeah, I mean, I love that you're telling everybody that, because I'm, a big cheerleader for Vegas, because there's literally anything you want to do. I haven't been to the Strip for months, but anything you want to do is 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away. It really has it all. So I love the way you broke it down. But don't knock those small towns though, because we have a second house in Texas. We have our cows there, and it was a Sunday, and Sunday a lot of people go to church, so there's not much open, and there's only one restaurant open for breakfast, and guess who we run into? Guy who works in Colorado, Deion Sanders. So the small town gives you a cool chance to meet some people, but it's weird because when you're not in Vegas, you don't realize how good the restaurants are here.
Right.
You're spoiled.
You are absolutely spoiled here, and a lot of people who are locals or not from another big city don't get it. But if you grow up in a smaller town and you're stuck with the same places, and that's why most people eat at home in those smaller towns. Like, there's really nowhere to go. Here, man, you just drive down the street 5 minutes and you have your choice of whatever you want.
Options, and options. What if the Raiders aren't playing the Broncos? Are you cheering for them?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
I want to see them do well for Vegas. I support Vegas. I love the Golden Knights. I'll support the A's when they get here. I'm excited for the new A's complex. I think that's going to be awesome with the restaurants and the shops that they're building to go with it. It's good for Vegas. And I'm assuming soon we'll have an NBA team as well. Vegas literally has everything now.
So if the A's play the Rockies,
I'm going to root for the Rockies, but I know the A's are going to win. The Rockies are just so bad, but I'm going to root for the Rockies.
Any chance we would get the Denver Nuggets here, or is that they got a big fan base?
They have a huge fan base. They're not moving.
All right. Well, I was trying to get you your team here.
That'd be nice. It would be nice.
So where can, hopefully people don't need to find you, but if they want to find you because they need to, and they're innocent until proven guilty, is that the saying? Where can they find you?
They can find me online. I have a website, welleslawlv.com, and can always reach me by my cell phone, 702-421-9080.
Okay, unless you're in court, then they can.
Unless I'm in court, they can leave a message, text. We'll get back to them.
Okay, so hopefully they don't need you, but if they do, they should get somebody with a lot of reps.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
I just love Vegas, and people need to keep coming.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.